Okay, so today's topic is disadvantages of file system. So first of all, we discuss what is file. What is a file? A file is a collection of records. What is a record? A record is a collection of fields. What is a field? A field is a collection of characters. Files are used to store the information permanently in the disk. For example, if you take a student file will contains different student records. Each student record will contains some of the fields like register number, name, marks. So this is about file. For example, the students who joined in 2017 or 2018, we maintain a file to see students joined in CSC 2018. Each record will indicates the one student. Each record indicates one student data. Each record will contains the register number, name, marks. So this is about file. In the early days, that means in 1960s to 1980s, we used the file systems to store the data. So in 1960s or 1970s, 1980s, 1990s also, from 1960 to 1990, we used the files to store the data. So normally, COBOL is a language which is used to store the data in files. This is about file. సో ఫైల్ అంటే మీకు ఆల్రెడీ తెలిసింది, కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ రికార్డ్స్ అంటున్నాం. రికార్డ్ అంటే కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఫీల్డ్స్ అంటున్నాం. ఫీల్డ్ అంటే కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ అంటున్నాం. ఎందుకు అంటున్నాము అంటే ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ని పర్మనెంట్గా మనం డిస్క్లో స్టోర్ చేయడానికి ఈ ఫైల్స్ అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ ఉపయోగిస్తామని చెప్తున్నాము. జనరల్గా మనం స్టూడెంట్ ఫైల్ అన్నాము అనుకోండి. సో స్టూడెంట్ ఫైల్లో మనకి ఏముంటాయి అంటే స్టూడెంట్ యొక్క రికార్డ్స్ ఉంటాయి. అంటే స్టూడెంట్ యొక్క రిజిస్టర్ నెంబరు, నేమ్, మార్క్స్ ఇలా ఉంటాయి. ఇలాంటి వాటిని మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే ఫైల్ అని చెప్తాం. సో nowadays we are not using the file. In early days we are using the files. From 1960s to 1990 we are using file system. At present we are not using the file system. Why? What are the drawbacks so that are in file system? So the disadvantage of file system is data redundancy, data inconsistency, limited data sharing, lengthy program development, data dependency, data security, data integrity issues, atomicity problems, concurrent access anomaly. These are the disadvantages of file system. That's why we are not using the file system at present. So what are there? So data redundancy, one, data inconsistency, limited data sharing, lengthy program development, data dependency, data security issues, data integrity issues, atomicity problems, concurrent access anomalies. These are the disadvantages of file system. That's why we are not using the files at present. So then we go for what is data redundancy. Data redundancy ante enti? Data redundancy refers duplication of data. So when a data is duplicated, then it is called as redundancy. Data redundancy is a duplication of data. In file system, all the application programs are developed independently so that data may exist in duplicate. That duplication of data is exist. So that means so in early systems, that means in 1960s to 1990, the programs which are developed independently, there is no interaction between the programmers. We can develop the programs independently. So when the programs are developed independently, the data, so there is no networking like that. So there is no server concept, there is a networking concept. That's why data duplication may exist. For example, a student which joined two courses, then the details of the student is stored in two files. For example, a student which joined C++ and Java, first he joined C++, then we can store the details of the student, student roll number, student name, address, phone number, email address. After that, again the student joined another course, again we can store the student register number, name, all ticket number, address, email ID, phone number like this. In this case, student name, address, mobile number, email are appears multiple number of times. This is called as data redundancy. The one problem of data redundancy is data duplication, that is wastage of storage. This will called as data redundancy. So data redundancy ante enti antunna ante, so in file system lo man data files ni independent ga develop chestam. అంటే దేనికి మనకు నెట్వర్కింగ్ అలా ఉండవు, ఇండిపెండెంట్ గా డెవలప్ చేస్తాం. దానికి ఇండివిజువల్ గా డెవలప్ చేస్తాం. దానికి ఇండివిజువల్ గా డెవలప్ చేయటం వల్ల మనకి ఏమవుతుంది అంటే డూప్లికేషన్ ఆఫ్ డేటా రావడానికి అవకాశం అనేది ఉంటుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మనం ఒక స్టూడెంట్ 2 కోర్సులు జాయిన్ అయ్యారు అనుకోండి, ఆ స్టూడెంట్ యొక్క డేటా అనేది 2 ఫైల్స్ లో స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. సో 2 ఫైల్స్ లో స్టోర్ అవటం వలన మనకేంటి అంటే డూప్లికేషన్ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మనం ఒక్కసారి కోర్స్ చేరంగానే అతని యొక్క రిజిస్టర్ నెంబరు, నేము, హాల్ టికెట్ నెంబరు, మొబైల్ నెంబరు, అడ్రస్ ఇవన్నీ స్టోర్ చేసాం అనుకోండి. 2 కోర్సెస్ చేస్తే 2 సార్లు స్టోర్ చేస్తాం, 10 కోర్సులు చేస్తే 10 సార్లు స్టోర్ చేస్తాం. దానివల్ల మనకి ఏంటి అంటున్నాము అంటే డేటా డూప్లికేషన్ రావడానికి అవకాశం అనేది ఉంటుంది. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ డేటా redundancy. Data redundancy, the problem of data redundancy is wastage of storage. దీనివల్ల ప్రాబ్లం ఏమంటున్నాము, వేస్టేజ్ ఆఫ్ స్టోరేజ్ అని చెప్తున్నాను. సో నెక్స్ట్, another problem is data inconsistency. What is data inconsistency? Because of data redundancy, it is possible that data may not be in consistent state. So due to redundancy, the data is inconsistency. For example, when a student is joined in 2 courses, then the details of the student is stored in 2 files. When an address of a student is changed, then it is necessary to modify the addresses in 2 files. This is called as data inconsistency. So listen once again. When a student which joined 2 courses, then the address of the student is stored in 2 files. When an address is changed, then it is necessary to modify the address in both the files. This is called as data inconsistency. So this is another problem we are getting, so in the case of file system. So data inconsistency. This is also caused due to redundancy. So redundancy is independent development. So when programs are independent development, redundancy causes inconsistency also. So next one is limited data sharing. So another problem is limited data sharing. What is limited data sharing? Data are stored in multiple files, and different files may have different formats, and these files are stored in different folders in different departments. This is called as data isolation. So listen, data stored in different files. We have already discussed them. So all the programs which are developed independently, that's why data is stored in different files. Different files may exist in different formats. Different files are in different folders, and these folders are different departments. This is called as data isolation. So when the data is scattered on multiple number of folders, there is a little possibility to share the data between the users. That's why we call it as limited data sharing. So what is limited data sharing? When the data is scattered on different files, and different files may have different formats, and these files may have different folders, and different folders are in different departments. So, so data, this is called as data isolation. When the data is isolated, so there is a little possibility, little opportunity to share the data between the users. This is also major problem. That is, the application program which is developed at one system, it cannot be shared by another user. That's we called as data sharing. Program which is developed by one user cannot be shared by another user because so they are stored in different files, different formats, different departments, different folders, different systems also. That's way. So the data is isolated on different ways, and there is a little chance, little opportunity. There is a possibility. So small. That's why there is a little opportunity to share the data between multiple number of users. This is called as limited data sharing. So another is lengthy program development. So file programming is very lengthy. So for example, in files we already know in C language we are using file system. To perform any operation on file, it is necessary to open a file, perform IO operation, close the file. Naturally, we are using these statements in any file programming languages. So you know that C language also. In C language, to perform any operation on file, first of all you have to open a file, perform read operation, and close the file. All third generation programming languages such as COBOL, Pascal, C will support the file systems. In these programming languages, the programs are very big and very inconvenient to develop the new programs. This is the one problem of file system. So in early days, we use the COBOL language to develop the programs. In COBOL, the programs are very big, very big. For example, to store a record or to store an information, it is necessary to write minimum 100 lines of code. So the programs are too big. So that's why there is a little chance to develop new applications. That's what we call as lengthy program development. So what is lengthy programming development? In file system, for each application program, it is necessary to open a file, perform IO operation, close that. This is the way to perform operations on file in C language, C in C language, or COBOL, Pascal. In early days, that means in third generation programming languages, COBOL, Pascal, C, we are using this the same type of operations. First we open the file, then we can read the contents, or we can store the contents. After that, we can close the file. So it is a lengthy process. This is the very lengthy process. This lengthy process is very inconvenient for development of new applications because the programs are too big. So too big, so we are too inconvenient to develop the new application programs. This is the another issue that may arise in lengthy program development. Data dependency. So another problem is data dependency. What is data dependency? So we have the data in file processing system. So like each application program can also contains file declarations. File definitions. Each application program will also contains data definitions. By combining the data definitions within the programming language, it is called as data dependency. For example, if you take C language, suppose to store the student data into the file, first we can define the student record, struct student, hall ticket number, name, marks like this. So this is the declaration. Hall ticket number, int hall ticket number, char name of 20, int marks. This is the declaration. After declaration, we can open the file, then read the contents and store the contents into the file. Or finally, we can close the file. This is the way we can develop the application program. This program will contains the data declaration such as struct student like this. That is the data declaration and the programming laws. So that means we are combining both the data definitions as well as programming laws. That is called as data dependency. Then what is the problem? So when we combine the data definitions in the program, the problem is when suppose we want to modify the data definition, then it is necessary to compile the program. After compilation, again it is necessary to execute the programs. That's why it is called as data dependency. Then what is the problem while combining the data with the application program? Yes, there is a problem because, for example, I am given char name of 20. The name is 20 bytes. Suppose I want to name from 20 bytes to 30 bytes. Then what we can, so I will go to the program, change the declaration. After changing the declaration, again I will store the program. After that, compile the program. Then I will run the program. So this is the process. This is the process we are using. This process is a time-consuming process actually. So we can when want to modify the declarations, so always it is necessary to add new definitions each and every time. When we add the new definitions, then the program must be compiled and executed. That is a very inconvenient problem. For example, in early days, nobody has mobile number, nobody has email address. At present, all the students has mobile numbers and all the students has email address. Initially, I developed a program like that, student hall ticket number, name and marks. So now I want to add the new fields, student name, student mobile number and email address. Then we can change the declaration, structure declaration. Once we can change the structure declaration, so then we can save the program. After saving the program, we can compile the program. After compiling the program, again we can run the program. After run the program, again we can submit all the data. It is very lengthy process. That's way. So we are not using file system. This is also another problem of data dependence. Data file system problem is data dependence. This is the problem. That's why we are not using file system at present. Data security issues. What is data security? File system does not support data security. That's we called as data security issues. File system does not support data security. So what is data security? Why the file system does not support the data security? So data security means, so it is necessary to provide the privileges to each user. However, file system does not support such a privileges to provide privileges to the each user. That's what we call as data security. Once the file is created, that means once the file is created, it can be accessed by all the users. So once you can create a file, that file can be accessed by all users. There is no privileges to protect the data. For example, so if I develop an application to staff salary. So in staff salary, I create a declaration, say employee number, employee name, department, salary. So if I create that, then I can enter the details of all the employees. For example, an admin want to change the salary, he can immediately change the salary because there is no protection. So once we are giving the privilege, once we are given access to the employee, they automatically they can modify it, no problem. That's we called as data security. So there is no protection of data. So everybody can access the data. Once the data can be accessed by all the users, there is no protection. That means, so it is necessary to hide the data. So it's called as, so for each and every time, so it is necessary to open some data and to hide some data. For some users who provide some information and for some users who provide some other information. So that's we call as data security. So data file system does not support the data security. That's why, so it suffers from data security issue. File system does not support. That means there is no privileges, there is no protection of files. Once the file is created, say, and the file is uploaded to the system, all the users can access the data. That's enough. So if all the users are accessing, there is no security. So for example, if you create a student file, say, and provide access to the students, So if any student want to change the marks, they can change it, no problem. If such a thing is happened, there is no security. For example, I am one of the students. I got 40 marks. I want to change the marks to 40 to 80. Yes, I can modify it because it is accessible for me also. So by that way, I am simply change the data and save it. That's we call as data, the data privileges. So there is no protection of data like this. That's way. So it suffers from data security issue. File system suffers from data security issues. Another is data integrity issue. What is data integrity? So what are the data integrity issues? Data integrity means data contained in the data must be correct and consistent. So data integrity means the data must be in correct and consistent. And the data which is stored in the file system must be in correct and must be consistent. That's we called as data integrity. For example, so if I assign a hall ticket numbers 501, 502, 503, 504, there is no two 501 students. If I enter two 501 student data, automatically it can produce an error. If it produces it like that, then it is called as data integrity. Database management system, file system does not support such a data integrity. So when we give the duplication of data, it can accept it, no problem. Suppose I give the 2 times of hall ticket number, it automatically accepts. So that's we called as data integrity. So data stored in the database must satisfy the constraints. Constraints means conditions. All must be constraints. For example, if I declare int marks, so if I declare the marks variable, we can enter the marks values. The marks values, actually we have the marks from 0 to 100. If I can assign less marks here -5, the system will accept it. Now file system will accept it. You know that we are using file C language or some other system and int A. If I have entered the value of A is -5, it accepted it automatically. So if that marks is minus, no. So that is called as data integrity. It's not a correct data. Suppose I enter the marks 105. Actually, we have the maximum of 100 marks. If I entered 105, the system will accept the 505 marks, 105 also. So it's called as data integrity. In database manager, there is such a problem in file system data integrity. However, database management system does not suffer such a data integrity issues. However, file system will have the data integrity issues. So it means it accepts the duplication of data, it accepts the incorrect values, it accepts correct values. Among that incorrect values, duplication of data also. That's we called as data integrity. So for example, I explained them. Suppose hall ticket number. I given two student hall ticket numbers as 501, 502. The system will accept it, no problem. There is no constraint where there is no constraint, there is no condition. So for to avoid the duplication of data in C language or COBOL, Pascal, there is no constraint, there is no condition to avoid the duplication of data. Similarly, if I declare a variable int marks, so we can enter marks, no problem. Is there a positive values or negative values? So if it is hundreds, thousands, you can accept it. There is no such a limitation. We cannot define such a limitations in file system. However, database management system will support such issues. That's why we'll call this it is a data integrity issue. No atomicity. Database has no atomicity. What is atomicity? Any operation the data must be atomic. That means so it must be happen in entirely or not null. That means if an operation is executed, it must be completed or none. That's we called as atomicity. Intermediate operation cannot be accepted. That's we called as atomicity. Once we can start the process, so the process must be completed or the process can be reversed. That's we called as atomicity. For example, we suppose we want to withdraw from a bank. Suppose I want to withdraw 1,000 rupees from a bank. To withdraw 1,000 rupees from a bank, there is a set of procedure is there. What is the procedure? First check the, so there are some set of operations. First check the account number, then check the balance, check the, so check number. So if it is yes, then we can withdraw the amount from the account. Then we can issue the amount. Then we can modify the balance. This is the process. So there are 6 steps of process. So to update, to withdraw the amount. So once we can start it, we must complete all these 6 operations or none. We cannot start through 3 operations and remaining 2 will be later like that. So once we can start it must perform all the operations or not null. That's called as atomicity. For example, so if you take, suppose I want to withdraw 1,000 rupees or I want to transfer 100 rupees from account A to account B. There is a lot of processes there. Suppose I want to transfer 100 rupees from A to B. First I will check if the account number of A. If account number is A, check the balance. If balance is correct, then I can transfer. So then I can transfer 100 rupees to B. After B, so then B amount is added, A amount is detected. Then we can store the A amount as well. After that, we can store the B amount. This is the process. Once all these operations are completed, then it is called as atomicity. In between it fails, it must clear all the operations. That's called as atomicity. So nowadays we are using database management system, we are using atomicity. For example, suppose you are using ATM card. You are withdraw amount from, at present we are using such a facility nowadays very well. ATM cards. Suppose you want to withdraw 1,000 rupees from ATM card. First you will put the ATM card into the account, ATM machine. Then you can enter your PIN number. After then it will check the PIN number. If it is correct, then it will ask the amount to be withdrawn. Suppose you want to withdraw 1,000 rupees. So you can enter 1,000 rupees. Then you can press OK. When we press OK, there is a problem with this system. For example, the ATM has a problem. ATM is hanged. The 1,000 rupees are withdraw from account, but I am not getting the 1,000 rupees. So in this case, we get the amount immediately after 1 day or 24 hours nowadays, because that operation not completed perfectly. The amount is withdrawn, but the candidate cannot receive the amount. So that is once we can withdraw the amount, the candidate must be received. Here, so the amount is detected, the candidate cannot receive. That's why its total operation is not completed. That's why, so automatically the amount is detected, is reversed. That's called as atomicity. Nowadays we are using such a facility in everywhere. Online banking, online systems, or phone pay, Google Pay, anywhere we are using this facility, atomicity facility. So whenever we are transferring from one account to another account, if there is any network issue of B, so I am transferring 100 rupees from A to B. So I can send the amount of 100 rupees from A to B. I press enter key, but B does not receive because of network issue. Immediately we get the amount reverse. The amount will be reversed because the total operation is not completed, because A has a network issue. A has the network issue, and that operation is not completed. That's why that amount is reversed. That's we called as atomicity. So file system does not support such atomicity, while a database management system will support atomicity. That's we call as atomicity. Concurrent access control. What is concurrent access? Multiple users are allowed to access the data simultaneously for better performance and faster response. This is called as concurrent access. Nowadays, database management system will access concurrence control. What is concurrence control? Concurrency means multiple access. Multiple users are allowed to access the data simultaneously for better performance and faster response. What is the purpose? Better performance and faster response. A database system will support the concurrence access, while a file system does not support concurrence access. This is another problem. So we are using file system. There is no concurrent access. Concurrent access. At present, we are using concurrent access. Suppose you want to transfer the amount, there are so many facilities to transfer the amount from one account to another account. So that's we call as concurrent access. Suppose I want to transfer 100 rupees from A to B. There are so many facilities are there nowadays. So you can transfer through PhonePe, you transfer Google Pay, or you go to bank and transfer the amount, or you go to the ATM machine and transfer the amount. So like this, there are so many facilities. That's we call as concurrent access. In file system, there is no such a concurrent access. Concurrent means multiple users can access, multiple users allowed to access the data simultaneously for better performance and faster responses. This is called as so concurrent access. Another problem is I'm not put here backup and recovery. File system does not have backup and recovery processes. I'm not written here. So backup and recovery. So file system has another problem is no backup and recovery. What is backup and recovery? What is the purpose of backup and recovery? Backup and recovery procedures are used so to recover the data whenever the data is damaged. That's what we call as backup and recovery. It is necessary to maintain the backup procedures and we can recover the data whenever the data is damaged. That's what we call as a backup and recovery process. File system does not support. However, database management system will support backup and recovery procedures. For example, suppose a bank, we have the bank, for example, in our village or in our town, there is one bank. That bank uses database management system. So we are entering we are depositing and withdraw amount. The persons who are who are within the village are depositing and withdraw amount from the bank. All the information which are stored in the server, bank server. If the server is maintained in a file system, if a server is damaged, then how we can retrieve the data? When there is a fire accident occurs in the bank, the server is damaged, then how I can retrieve the data? If a manager says, "Sir, bank server is closed, server is damaged, I can't pay," we can agree? No. I have the 10,000 rupees, I have 1 lakh rupees, I have 10 lakh rupees. Like this, everybody will sell. Then how I can retrieve the data? Because the server is failed, the server is fired. So in file system, there is such a possibilities are there because there is no file, no backup and recovery process. While in the case of database management systems, it must maintain the backup and recovery process. That means the data which is stored in the database is stored in local servers as well as central servers also. If the local server is failed, we can retrieve the data from central servers. The central servers are located at different places, not only in one place, in different places. If one server is failed, automatically we can retrieve the data from another server also. If another server is failed, we can retrieve the data from another server also. That's we call as backup and recovery procedures. Such a facility we are using nowadays. So what is backup? You think of. So think regarding backup and recovery. For example, in your bank, we are using bank system nowadays. So bank system as a server, bank server. That is the local server. Immediately we can maintain multiple number of servers throughout the world also. Or 10 to 15 servers will maintain. If one server, if local server is failed, we can retrieve the data from the divisional server. If divisional server is failed, we can retrieve the data from zonal server. If zonal server is failed, we can retrieve the data from central server. So again, state or country server. Like that, there we can maintain the data in multiple way servers. If one server is failed, automatically we can retrieve the data from multiple ways. This is called as data redundancy. So backup and recovery. These are the disadvantages of file system. That's why we are not using the file systems at present.